Picture a typical Monday in Britain. Millions of people wake up, brew a cup of tea and settle in front of their laptops, not in an office but in the comfort of their own homes. According to a new report from King's College London, Britain has earned the title of Europe's work-from-home capital, with workers spending an average of 1.8 days per week working remotely, more than any other country in Europe. This figure trails only Canada, 1.9 days among the 40 nations studied, and significantly surpasses the global average of 1.3 days. But what drives this trend, and is it a boon for the economy or a hidden burden? The COVID-19 pandemic reshaped the world of work, and Britain has embraced these changes more than any other European nation. For comparison, workers in South Korea average just 0.5 days per week at home. Those in Greece and China manage 0.6 days. France clocks in at 1 day, Australia at 1.2 days, and Germany and the US at 1.6 days. The hybrid work model, working from home on Mondays and Fridays and in the office midweek, has become dominant in Britain, according to the report's lead researcher, Cevat Aksoy. He notes, this isn't just a post-pandemic hangover. British workers have clearly decided the old ways are no longer for them. This trend has solidified as a defining feature of the UK labour market, but with flexibility come questions. How does remote work impact productivity, team collaboration, and workers' mental well-being? And why does Britain, despite leading in remote work, continue to lag behind other nations in labour productivity? Britain has long grappled with a productivity gap compared to countries like the US. American workers produce as much in 4 days as British workers do in 5, according to economic studies. The situation is worsening. Data from the Office for National Statistics, ONS, shows that labour productivity, output per hour, fell by 0.2% in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the same period in 2024. Many business leaders are sounding alarms about remote work. Lord Rose, former CEO of Asda, argues that productivity is less good if you work from home and that personal development suffers. He warns, "We are creating a whole generation of people who are used to not doing what I call proper work." Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, lambasted remote work in a leaked February 2025 recording, saying, "Don't give me this nonsense that work from home Fridays work. I call people on Fridays and there's not a goddamn person you can get a hold of." Bob Iger, Disney's CEO, has also raised concerns that remote work stifles creativity, as ideas often spark during in-person interactions. Adrian Pabst from the National Institute of Economic and Social Research, NIESR, adds that remote work complicates coordination among colleagues and is particularly challenging for younger workers, who struggle to learn the ropes without an office environment. He explains, absence from the office, especially in the public sector, creates issues with teamwork and the transmission of institutional culture. Not everyone agrees that remote work is the culprit. Cevat Aksoy cites studies showing that hybrid work models have no negative impact on productivity and can even boost it in some cases. Workers who work from home save time and money on commuting, such as on fuel or train tickets, allowing them to spend more in their local economies, like at nearby cafes or shops. This partially offsets the decline in activity in city centres like London, where offices and restaurants have lost foot traffic due to remote work. Moreover, remote work promotes employee retention and satisfaction. According to 2024 surveys by the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, CIPD, 65% of UK workers consider flexible schedules a key factor when choosing an employer. Companies that mandate full-time office returns risk losing talent, especially among younger generations who prioritize work-life balance. Remote work brings not only economic but also social implications. Adrian Pabst highlights the psychological toll, particularly for young people without families or stable relationships, noting that working in isolation can harm mental health. Is staying home alone good for young workers' well-being, let alone their performance? He asks. A 2024 study by Mind found that 28% of UK remote workers reported higher anxiety levels due to a lack of social interaction. On the flip side, remote work can be a blessing for workers with families. Parents save commuting time, allowing more moments with their children. For instance, the average Londoner spends 1.5 hours daily commuting, totaling about 375 hours annually. this time can be redirected toward personal life or professional growth. Why Britain leads in remote work? Britain's dominance in remote work stems from several factors: infrastructure and culture. The UK boasts robust digital infrastructure and a culture that values flexibility. Broadband internet covers 97% of households, enabling seamless remote work. Pandemic legacy. During the 2020-2021 lockdowns, Britain was among the first to adopt widespread remote work, and many companies retained hybrid models post-pandemic. ONS data shows 44% of UK workers used a hybrid model in 2024. Sectoral makeup. The UK economy relies heavily on the service sector, 80% of GDP, where remote work is more feasible than in industry or agriculture, which dominate in countries like Greece or South Korea. Despite its benefits, remote work poses challenges for the UK economy. City centres like London and Manchester are losing revenue from office workers, impacting restaurants, cafes, and public transport. Transport for London reported a 15% drop in passenger numbers in 2024 compared to 2019. Meanwhile, suburbs and small towns are seeing an economic boost as workers spend locally. Another issue is inequity in access to remote work. ONS data indicates that only 25% of low-income workers can work from home, compared to 60% in high-paying professions. This risks widening social inequality, as lower-paid workers face higher commuting costs and less flexibility. Britain stands at a crossroads. Will it continue to pioneer remote work, or seek a balance with office culture? Shivat Aksoy believes the hybrid model will remain dominant as it aligns with worker preferences and doesn't harm productivity. However, the government and businesses must address key issues. How to support mental health, especially for young workers in remote settings. How to ensure equal access to remote work across all income levels. How to offset economic losses in city centres caused by reduced office activity. The UK government is exploring initiatives like tax incentives for companies investing in hybrid offices or programs to support small businesses in urban areas. For example, London launched the Back to the City campaign in 2024 to encourage workers to return to offices a few days a week. Britain has cemented its place as Europe's work-from-home capital, reshaping its labour market. From time savings to higher employee satisfaction, remote work offers clear benefits, yet it also brings challenges. Lagging productivity, mental health concerns, and economic declines in city centres. Can Britain strike a balance between flexibility and efficiency? And will its example inspire other nations? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: working from home is no longer a temporary trend, it's the new reality. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Support us on Patreon, link below.